All right, I'm at a study room in the library of my local branch of the Central Arkansas Library System, so I'm going to keep it down just a little bit. But I wanted to catch you up on some conversations, some direction that God has revealed for VBS 2023, and then tell you about an opportunity that we're trying to set up on January 14th. So, as far as where we're at, guys, as we've been seeking God and asking Him, okay, God, what do you want to do summer of 2023? We know God's already there, so to ask Him this far out, no big deal, because God can communicate it. And some of the things that He has been saying are pretty exciting. One of the words that came out was just this idea of apologetics. Um, just that we want our kids to be confident. That's a word that has been resonating in conversations that we've been having about VBS. Is we want our kids to be confident about who Jesus is, confident in the Word of God, confident that they are a creation, a purposeful creation of God, confident to stand up and be countercultural, right? Like these are the things that we feel like God is stirring, that He wants to accomplish in VBS 2023. Here's something else that He's saying is that we feel like it's gotten too full, too fast, too, I don't know, just like we're running them from event to event, from activity to activity, and there's less time for them to connect with God, less time for them to connect with each other, less time for them to connect with a leader. And so here's where we're at. As far as confidence goes, one thing, there's a couple of things that are super clear. This word testimony, it just seems to be resonating in a number of people as they're seeking God, but also in the conversations like that we stand up to the enemy based upon the blood of the Lamb and the word of our testimony, like our testimony, our story of what God has done for us. It stands up to the enemy. It stands up against the world. It stands up against the culture. Something else Bernie loves to say about his testimony is nobody can refute. Nobody can argue with your testimony. It's your story of what God has done. And so getting to a place where our kids know how to stand on their testimony, to speak their testimony, to declare what God has done, we just feel like that's where we're going. Um, and so these are the things that are kind of resonating as far as like going from thing to thing, activity to activity. And we're hearing slow down and simplify. Now, Conway has accomplished that, and they did it last year by going to a daytime VBS and going from 3 hours to 5 hours. So that allowed them to slow down, to get more time to connect with God, to connect with leaders, to connect with each other, right? Some of us, and I know a lot of you, it's not possible. And so we're asking ourselves in that nighttime VBS, in those 2.5 hours that we have, how do we slow down and allow our kids to connect? So please be asking that, be seeking God about that, because we think that the front end of the VBS, the back end of the VBS, we think that's solid and will continue pretty much like it has been. But that middle section where we've done breakouts and we've done rotations, we're just asking God, what do you want to? We're not going to hold on to anything. God, how do you want to structure that time to really allow our kids to connect, but also to build that confidence? So again, here's kind of what God has spoken. Here's some of the questions that we're asking. And so we want to get everybody who can get together to get all in the same room so we can talk about this, so we can seek God for this together and hear from Him. And so what we're going to do is January 14th, that is a Saturday. We're going to gather. Typically, we do that from 10 to 2 at some location. We're not sure where that's going to be. We'll have lunch there for you. And again, like we're asking that each campus only bring a handful of folks because we're not really at the place where it's time to brainstorm. This is really a time where we want everybody, kid life pastors, your VBS director maybe, to be in the same room so we can really just kind of talk about what might look like to restructure that hour and 20 minutes in the middle of VBS to provide more opportunities to connect with leaders, more opportunity for them to connect with God. And so, number one, Try to block that out on your calendar. Number two, be praying and thinking about these questions. Hope to see you soon.